Merry Kitschmas! We're back for day 6 of the 12 days of Kitschmas, where I share with you the history of a popular vintage Christmas decoration and show you pieces from my personal collection. So if you love Kitschmas as much as I do, then stick around as we dive into another one of my kitschy holiday delights. Hello, Victoria here, and we're Super Geeked, where we celebrate all the things we get super geeked about. I get super geeked about mid-century modern, and recently announced a new series I am doing here on YouTube, where I will deep dive into all the facets of the atomic era. Most excitingly, I launched this new series with the 12 Days of Kitschmas, which you're watching now. So thank you. Today we talk about the ceramic Christmas tree. Ceramic tabletop Christmas trees have been around since the 1940s. They usually range from 17 inches to 24 inches tall, sometimes with a musical base. The majority of these trees that you will find out in the wild consist of a molded Christmas tree that fits over a single light bulb inserted into a base. The lights on the tree are actually plastic pegs that fit into holes on the ceramic tree and light up when turned on. Ceramic trees can be dated back to the 1940s when they were made by private craftsmen, but they weren't mainstream until Atlantic Mold Company copyrighted the first commercialized ceramic Christmas tree mold in 1958. These original trees, along with their 1940s predecessors, are rare and will be the most sought after. The earliest versions came with miniature electric light bulbs that had to be lit individually. Additionally, older trees have glass bulbs, while the newer versions will have plastic. However, figuring out if you have an original ceramic Christmas tree can prove daunting, as we will learn thousands of copies were made of the original A64 Atlantic mold, even into modern day. But let's get back to the 1950s, when after Atlantic Mold Company led the way for U.S. production, other companies followed with their own designs. Several different ceramic mold companies in the Midwest began producing their own versions of the ceramic Christmas tree mold. Most notably include Dogwood Ceramic Supply, Arnell's, and Holland Mold. One of my personal favorite molds that I would love to find is the Atlantic Mold A314, aka the lava tree. In the last half of the 1960s, literally thousands of ceramic shops sprung up across the United States. For many, it became a family affair, enabling young and old alike to mold a hunk of clay into a piece of art. Banks, ashtrays, coffee mugs were produced by the thousand. But perhaps the most popular and lasting of these grassroots creations was the Christmas tree. Trees from this era are painted in a variety of styles and colors. Some are glazed, some are finished in paint, some are flocked with snow. But one thing is clear, people loved these handmade ceramic Christmas trees. Since the early 1990s, several of the original mold companies have since gone out of business, as more ready-made ceramics were shipped in from overseas. Many of the original mold designs and styles have been lost or destroyed, making the ones that do exist all the more rare and special. As I alluded to before, dating these original trees can be difficult. The Atlantic Mold A64 ceramic Christmas tree was in fact copyrighted in 1958, but for the next 40 years, Atlantic Mold sold thousands upon thousands of identical copies of their A64 mold to ceramic studios across the U.S. Your particular tree could have been made in 1958 or just last week by your local studio. In addition, the other ceramic Christmas tree mold companies that I mentioned before also sold their molds to these ceramic studios, further complicating the issue of age. When Atlantic Molds retired in 1999, like many other mold companies when they retire, Atlantic sold their mold designs and copyrights on the secondary market, which means all of these retired ceramic molds from yesterday are still available today. So how do you tell if you truly have one of the original ceramic Christmas trees? Look for another number on the tree. A truly vintage tree should be individually numbered. In addition, look for those rare style molds that are no longer produced, such as the lava tree that I mentioned before. And for my reselling friends, here are some comps of ceramic Christmas trees so that you can see their resale value on the secondary market. Recent eBay sales for vintage Christmas trees have ranged from $50 to $150, with extra large flocked or musical trees fetching up to $250. That's not bad when you can find these at any estate sale or garage sale around, maybe even your local thrift store. Today, many of the ceramic Christmas trees that you will find manufactured are different from the original ceramic mold style. These imported ceramic trees are often battery operated, and their bulbs are stationary, meaning that they can't come out. They are actually non-removable, unlike the vintage trees, which have removable lights, which you can change the colors and styles of. And now I'm going to share with you my ceramic Christmas trees. All right, first I'm going to show these two beauties. I actually picked them up this year. This one you saw in the haul video where I showed the vintage inspired decorations I picked up. And then I got a tip from one of you about this mint one being available on Walmart.com. So I got that one also. So this one was $15 and this one was $30. You can see the size difference. They are battery operated. They do have a timer, which is kind of neat, but they're definitely modern and just vintage inspired. So this is my vintage white ceramic tree. It is an Atlantic mold. It was made by my great aunt Pat. She owned a ceramic studio and it is vintage. She gave it to me before she passed away and I really love it. I love that it's white, but she painted the base green and it means a lot because it belonged to her. I changed the bulbs to be sort of like jewel tones to match my decor. And I just love this tree so much. I normally display it in my dining room, but this year I put up a manger scene and so it sits here. I also wanted to show this little winking Santa guy. My great uncle Robert made this and he painted it and wrote all over it. I thought that was really neat. It's this little rhyme or something he came up with. He was very much a character. It says, our youngest, our sweetest, our pride and joy, his eyes wide open as he peeked from his cot, unseen everything his mother has got. He don't even notice der toys in her lap. He just asked for who is that little fur cap. Anyway, he goes on, but my Uncle Robert made that. So my Aunt Pat is his wife who created this. And then I have this mug from Uncle Robert. They have both since passed away. And so they mean a lot to me. And my last little tree I wanted to show you was over here behind my manger scene. And it is a little tiny late 60s, early 70s ceramic tree that my mother actually painted. And I added all the bulbs on it. I put birds and a butterfly and some other lights, but it looks very typical 1970s ceramic mold, but this is just an example of one of the smaller ones that they made. Mine all have quartz with light bulbs, except for the two modern ones I showed you that I purchased this year. Those are battery operated, so the old ones do have cords and light bulbs in them. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little history lesson on the ceramic Christmas tree. Whether you buy a new vintage-inspired ceramic Christmas tree or go on the hunt for a vintage one, there's something very special about the glow of a ceramic Christmas tree that's different from all the other holiday lights we see this time of year. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you'll consider subscribing to our channel as I still have 6 more days of the 12 days of Kitschmas to come out, along with a continuing series that I am now launching on our YouTube channel of mid-century modern, which I can't wait to get into. Be sure to give me a thumbs up on the way out, and don't forget to hit that bell notification so you'll know when my next video comes out. See you guys next time. Bye!